What's going on, guys? Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Indie Film Hype. I am Ashley LaJoy, and you are tuned in right now to Filmmaker Fridays. Now, last week, we actually gave y'all the 5 tools that's needed to make a film, which were your camera, your tripod, your audio, your lighting, and your editing software. Well, this week, we're going to tap into the 5 stages of actually producing a film. So let's start. Number 1 would be your development phase. So now, a lot of folks don't realize that with your development phase, that's one of the pivotal pieces to conducting an awesome film, because that's where you start. That's the outlining of the script. That's the writing of the script. That's bringing all these characters together on your wonderful paper so you can start seeing a better vision for what you want. So your actual development phase consists of writing your script. So when you write your script, of course, before you even write a script, you have to have the idea and the thought and the visions. So you have to bring all of those thoughts that's in your wonderful head and put them on paper, write them on whatever software you choose to write them on, and just bring that vision to life on paper. So from just your outlines, a lot of times within the writing process, writers tend to I'm one of those that tend to just place things different places. I have this handy dandy notebook where I write a lot of my ideas down, and then when it comes to actually putting them in script form, I have a lot of my ideas that I already have. So that's just outlining, and then you put it in the script, you bring those thoughts and things to life on paper, and then you go from there. So that's your development phase. That's your script writing, and also where you want to shoot your film. Those thoughts have to come about to where you want to shoot your film, and what kind of film are you shooting, and what kind of tone are you looking to bring with it. So that's step 1. That's your development stage. Your second stage will be honestly the most pivotal piece to filmmaking, period, which will be your pre-production, because that's where all of the magic happens. Well, the magic actually happens in actual production, but pre-production makes sure that the magic that happens in actual production goes smooth. So with your pre-production phases, now that you have your script in hand, when you go to pre-production, you actually are in the phases of hiring your director. If you're not the director, if you're the writer, you hire your producer, who hires the director, who hires the first AD, the second AD, all the different elements that bring this thing together. But independently, we don't really have all of that. So, sometimes if you're the writer, you are the director, but you find your director, you find your you do your casting call. You got to find your actors. So you have to do your casting call to make sure that the things that you envisioned and you put in your script is actually the people that are these people going to be the right people to play the parts, so to bring my vision to life. So you hold your casting call. So once you hold your casting call, of course, then you go into finding your crew. You find your crew before your casting call, but I'm just giving you everything that goes into pre-production. So of course you find your crew, and that's from, like I said, the director to the producer, to your first and second ADs, to your PAs, which is your production assistants, to your boom operators, to your gaffers and key grips, everything that takes place as far as finding a crew is what you would find and do in your pre-production phases, along with the casting, along with the location scouting. Where are my films, or where are my scenes going to be shot? You got to know. So you have to go location scouting. You have to make sure that the different areas that you want to shoot in are available on a certain day. If you need a permit to shoot there, you have to, of course, go online and do the application for your permits. You have to make sure you have your production insurances, everything that's the businessy part to making a film. That's honestly not the fun part, but it's the most important part. That all takes place in actual pre-production. So then when you go from pre-production, then boom, the magic comes, the magic happens, and then you go to your actual production. Now that's the beauty of it, because when you go into production, you get to see your wonderful visions come to life. If you're a director, you get to say, action, cut, beautiful. all the little weird stuff. Yeah. So that's when the actual magic of everything that you've done with your development phases and your actual pre-production phases, that's when that comes to life. You get to see it one-on-one. And if you need to change a few things and tweak a few things, you can do so. But production is when you actually shoot your film. It's a beautiful thing. And then when you go from production, next piece to it to make sure that all those pieces come together is your post-production. That's your editing phase. In the editing phase, you do everything. You edit, of course, what you shot. You make sure that the audio is there, and you make sure you mix and master the audio. You make sure you put your sound effects in. Every piece that comes to make sure that that film comes together and it's wonderful happens in the actual post-production. So post-production, along with production and pre-production, all of it's important, but post-production, that's when you get excited because you start seeing all of your visions and hard work and blood, sweat, and tears come to life. So that's your post-production. And then the last pivotal part, I would say, would be your distribution. Where is my film going to go? Whether it's a film, web series, whatever you're doing, where is it going? Is it going to YouTube? Is it going to Netflix? Is it going to Hulu? Is it going to, any of these other streaming sites? Am I, just, hustling out in the streets trying to sell my film? Where is my film going? So that's your actual distribution phase. So there you have it, folks. Those are the 5 pivotal phases and stages, I guess I would say, in production to actually make a film. So again, let's go over it. You have your development phase. You have your pre-production phase. You have your production phase. You have your post-production phase. And then you have your distribution phase. Yeah. So those are the 5 different stages that's needed to produce a film. Now, if you stick around to my next videos, I'm actually going to go into detail of each of these phases. So you'll see you'll have a more in-depth feel of what development looks like, what pre-production looks like, what production looks like, post-production, and distro. So y'all stay tuned. Again, I am Ashley LaJoy, writer, director, and producer. Make sure you subscribe so you can see my next video. Click the bell so you get that notification. Give me some thumbs ups so other folks can see my videos. And make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because Indie Film Hype is just what it is. We're giving all the information. We're talking all things filmmaking, from the writing, directing, producing, and anything else in between. Make sure you comment below. Hey, if you have some tips that you would like me to give to the people, make sure you comment below those tips or questions or anything. Also, make sure you follow us on @Indie Film Hype on IG. Make sure you follow me @Ashley LaJoy. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is Indie Film Hype's Filmmaker Fridays, and I am out.